Hi guys, what's up? It's Alex here and we are back with F1 2012 Career Mode, the penultimate race of the season here in Austin, Texas, and should be a good race. Now, I didn't have the best of qualifying, starting back in 6th position here, but I think I qualified in front of Mark Webber. Yeah, I did. He didn't really ever have the best of qualifying this year. He's pretty much having a horrible season. I think he's starting back in like 12th or 13th position, but here we are. The engine notes are rising, revving it to the maximum. Here we are from 2nd position on the grid, and away we go, using a lot of curves, putting it into the rich fuel mixture. Now trying to find a gap here, threading the needle, just finding a gap here, and now down the inside of Alonso. Grosjean's in my inside, but he's just about got around corner 2. It's absolute carnage behind, but Grosjean followed me through on the inside, up for about 5th and 6th, all the way up to 1st and 2nd. Not a bad start whatsoever. And now we're going through the twisty part of the track, which I'm really not very good at, and luckily getting through there unscathed and not going across the grass or anything. But don't worry, I will go through on the grass there at some point, as I just really couldn't keep it on the track at that point, at some points in the race. It put up a little bit of a lead there to Grosjean, just a little bit. Now putting it down to the lean fuel mixture. I don't know why I did that. I think halfway down the straight I'm like, why did I do that? Now I just put it into the standard fuel mixture. As putting it to the lean fuel mixture doesn't really save that much, and it's not worth saving that much, let's just say that. And you might as well just run it on standard and, you know, go a little bit faster. But maybe I don't change it up here. Somewhere I do change it back up to normal, just to make sure that you know if I don't show it in the video. But behind this, Grosjean 0.8 of a second, Alonso half a second back from him. So the front three are pretty close, but obviously it's going to get a bit closer because I'm not very good at this track. I qualified 6th, and it was really now just an aim to beat 6th position, and this probably was one of my least favourite races of the season. You'll see what I mean when we get to the end of the race. But it is quite a long lap here in Austin, Texas. It probably isn't really my favourite track to drive around. Personally, it's one of my least favourite tracks to drive around on this game. I don't know why, I just never seem to get it right. But, you know, that's the thing, you've got to learn. And, you know, that's part of the game, isn't it? You've got to learn all the tracks. But Grosjean has got over a move down the outside. I'm using a little bit of curve, but then realise he isn't far enough along the outside to really go for a move. He's looking down the inside, just isn't space down there. Less than 1/10 of a second separated us as we went across the line that time. And now, there we go, we put it into standard. I don't know really why I left it in lean for so long, but it might have saved us a little bit of fuel need near the end of the race. Now just going round and round and round, all the boring parts of the track. It's fun to watch there in real life, but driving in the game I don't find it that fun because you always get it a little bit wrong. You never seem to get it perfect. But 0.4 of a second to Grosjean, now 2/10 to Alonso, to the top 3 separated by 0.6 of a second after one lap. Don't know why I'm driving down the grass, just part of me being a bit stupid there. But now going down here onto the long straight. Now this is where Grosjean has been very fast in qualifying, and look at this, he hasn't even got DRS and he's literally on fire. He's trying to go for the move, but we defend with curse here. Then he sort of halts his charge, if you will, and we pull across onto the racing line again and swoop into the left-hander, up to the right-hander, and I think it's going to be even closer here. 4/10. Okay, maybe not so close, but still less than a second separating the top 2 is very, very close indeed. And obviously everybody's setting fast this first sectors unless they had an appalling second lap. And Mark Webber's all the way down in about 14th, 15th position. He's really not having a very good race. You can see on the mini-map in the bottom left, he's very, very far down the order. And people like Petrov and Kovalainen were up there in the top 10, or nearly the top 10. Kovalainen was like 12th, and I think Petrov was 8th in qualifying. And that shows you how crazy qualifying was. Lots of people out of position. And Mark Webber, it looks like he's not going to be able to get 6th position in the championship. He's dropping so far back. Now we'll skip on to lap 4. I don't know whether you realised on the bottom of your screen at the end of lap 2 there was a lot of carnage at the last turn. But luckily I was far enough ahead of it not to be involved. But here we are coming to the pits. The first person to pit from the lead, lap 4. And this is a bit of a risky strategy. Great pit stop by the Red Bull guys, under 3 seconds. Now, as I said, this is a risky strategy because I don't know where it's going to put me out. It's going to put me out just behind my teammate Webber and also Maldonado, I think. After Maldonado just put the fastest lap of the race in, 42.5. and we've just come out ahead of Rosberg. Now our aim is to get into the DRS zone of Maldonado, and this is where our strategy will come into sort of the right hand. Now later on the lap, there's a little bit of carnage at the hairpin. Hamilton's off the track randomly in the gravel, and I've caught all the way back up to the back of Maldonado. He stops in the middle of the straight. I have no time to react, so I hit the back of him, lose some speed there, and Maldonado then just trolls me with DRS and just flies. But I think I might go for a late move down the inside here just to get payback on Maldonado, getting it stopped in time. And now right up behind Mark Webber, my teammate, who's in 11th position now, so he's not having the best of races whatsoever, and it's going to be a struggle for him to get points, but hopefully he will. Diving down the inside of Mark Webber there, he doesn't think he expected that whatsoever. Wheel-to-wheel stuff here at Red Bull. I got a little bit sideways. I lost a lot of time to Schumacher, and that wasn't the greatest. So that wasn't very interesting until we come to the last lap of the race here. Pretty much everyone came out their pits. I was about 4 seconds ahead, and then Grosjean, Raikkonen, and Alonso have closed that down now onto the last lap. A little bit sideways going through turn 1. I think there's a little bit of a problem with the brakes there. It looks like a bit too much rear brake bias for me there as I slid around the corner. You can see my fastest lap's about 1.3 off Alonso, so I really did not have the pace here in this race. But somehow I'm ended up in the lead. Now just trying to keep Raikkonen and Grosjean on behind us, because obviously that is the main aim, to keep them behind us and grab the win. And obviously that's what we want to do, because that gets more points in the championship and makes the championship look better. But here we are breaking down into the hairpin, running a tad bit wide, just keeping it sort of more or less on the racing line. But Raikkonen just sort of slams into the side of us, and we get a penalty. Even though Raikkonen didn't lose any time whatsoever, he's still in second position. He turned in on me and spun himself, or half spun himself, which got me a 20-second penalty, which is frustrating, I could say that, because if I could take my penalties off, I definitely would, or if you could argue your penalties, I definitely would, because I don't really know where I could have gone there. I was just sticking to the racing line when I got back onto the track perfectly, because obviously I hit the marble, so I had nowhere to go. But I didn't rejoin the track vigorously or crazily. I just rejoined the track normally, and Raikkonen hit the side of me. Disappointing. Got the 20-second penalty, which obviously means now we're not going to win the race. We did win it on legitimacy, but we're not going to win the race on actual, timing or whatever, because 20 seconds will put us way down the order, which is really disappointing. I really wanted to get a better result here today, but there we go, across the line. Not happy whatsoever. I think 7th might be our worst result of the season. But yeah, we'll move on to Brazil in about a week's time for a 50% race. Hopefully you'll enjoy that. And there we are. So 7th position, somehow slotting in between Rosberg and Kobayashi. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. It's been Alex, and I'm out of here. Goodbye.